In this video today, we're going to talk about spot uranium, the uranium market overall, why the spot price has dropped some, and the overall market strength right now, and which uranium stocks have ran the most today and where I see things going. We're going to give a quick update on Sput, and there's a lot that's actually happened, and I'll give you some updates on that. But first, hit that like and subscribe button below. Let's get 800 likes, and I'm going to make sure I get that Uranium Documentary 3 done this weekend. So if you guys can do that, then I'll work really hard to get that out. But we're going to jump right into this. So first thing, in the uranium market today, all of the stocks pretty much had a good correction from yesterday's drop. In the spot market has still had little volume, especially with Sput. But you can see some of these US OTC tickers, they've had the biggest runs. So we've had Global Atomic was one big one today that I've been watching. Western Uranium, I've been covering them for a while as well, you know. Another one, Paladin, and then Centrus, which is LEU. They make HALEU. So these were some of the bigger runners today. Same thing with Mega Uranium and NextGen. So these stocks have all pretty much been on my list. I have owned them at one point, or I do own them currently, some of them. So I do think that with Spot dropping, it's still going to be very volatile. We'll talk about that a little bit. We'll first look today. Sprott Physical Uranium Trust, they did raise about 400,000 pounds. They actually bought, and it was about today they actually raised, I think it was around $12 million. I think it was 14 million today. Yeah, 14.7. So the thing about this is we've seen a lot less volume, and that's why the NAV has dropped. You know, and we're just barely making enough percentage here to still, you know, raise. Once it drops below, when it's negative, it's a lot harder for them to get it back up. You know, if the spot price drops, all that uranium that they own, which is now 30 million pounds of U3O8, it's worth less. It's worth less than it was, obviously. So one big thing I think that could be happening, and it's just because a lot of the volume was coming from SRUUF, which is the OTC version. Well, that volume has since dropped. Okay, so the green here is shares traded. So we were getting multiple millions of pounds, or sorry, millions of dollars, which helped them buy a lot of pounds in the market during that time. But it's since dropped off because the OTC listing rules has changed, and they're waiting to get some more approvals. So this is actually will take away the shares traded. If you go here, if you see here, the blue, this is actually what is available to short. So you can sell those shares. So during this time, there was a lot less available if people were wanting to short it. So now there's a lot more. So I do think that there is possibly shorting going on. You saw right when it started, there was about 1.5 million just in the OTC, and then boom, it was gone. And then this is when the share price started to appreciate, go up, and then now, you know, there's still shares to trade on the short side for people. But I think that could be another thing. A lot of selling pressure in the OTC because of this. A lot of people are only able to sell, and then you got people possibly wanting Sput to go down. So there are available shares. If you've noticed, the fee has been going up as well. This usually tells me there's a lot more interest, people wanting to short it. So there's no doubt that that is actually going on, you know, whether it's short sellers or it's people having to sell or selling, you know, their profits. So overall market though, today we saw in the overall stock market in the US, positive sentiment now because the debt ceiling, this has basically been postponed to December now. And with this being postponed, I think you'll start to just see more buying in the markets, you know. But the thing is we just keep postponing this. So it says also today at the same time, energy prices fell. So we'll look at those real quick. Some of the commodities. Yesterday, oil was down, easing some concerns over global energy crisis. We are in no doubt in a global energy crisis if you follow these videos. But now traders are awaiting the highly anticipated payroll reports that are due tomorrow. So we'll see what happens tomorrow with that, with the labor market. Strong job numbers would raise the odds of an early Fed tapering of the interest rate hike. So what this is meaning is, you know, if we actually start getting inflation that they think's, you know, running higher and higher, they're going to have to start to raise interest rates eventually, 1, 2, 3 years away, maybe sooner. Who knows? If we knew this, we could easily trade the market a lot easier. But you know, one thing we do know is supply and demand. We know commodities. If we look at commodities here, commodities have just gone up like crazy the last year to date. In uranium, we can see here it's down 9.25 or 9.2%. So there's still a lot of room, like I've said, for upside for the uranium price long term to go up in the next, you know, year. And coal actually is down today. We were up 200, I think it was like 235% yesterday. So with that coal price going down, some oil going down yesterday, it's kind of caused, I think, you know, a little bit of this, you know, reassurance that this might be transitory for inflation. I don't necessarily think that's true. I think that with the shortages going on, it's just supply and demand. There's less supply. Especially for uranium. That's one of the big reasons I trade uranium, is because of the supply. But we'll go back to, I want to show you guys the chart here on SPUT, SRUUF. A lot of people were talking about it today. And if you see here on the chart, this is the run up since pretty much it started, the run up here in SPUT. And this is when they were buying the most. As you can see, there was record volume in SPUT. This is a lot for a new OTC ticker as well. 3 million shares traded, you know. And then look at the volume now. We pretty much have only selling pressure. You know, we have a little bit of buying, you know, coming in still, but some brokers, like I have a broker that can still trade it, that can still buy it, and you can buy it on Charles Schwab. So there are brokers that still allow buying, but until this key investment document is approved, then we'll probably see little brokers trading this. The other thing is there's no bid and ask, you know, on level 2 that you can see. So the spreads are a lot, and you know, people can still short this too. So a lot of people, with the uranium spot price going down, there's people selling in the spot market, which is, you know, just to really quickly explain, it's a very small part of the uranium market. It trades. They did have record volume last month, which was the highest volume in spot in 1 month since 1996. So there's no doubt, I've said this before, SPUT has really increased that buying pressure in spot. They've taken away a lot of pounds that would have been there, but you need volume. Volume is the lifeblood of a stock, of anything. If there's no buying pressure, if there's no, you know, demand for this, it's going to go down. And that's what we're seeing right now. And there is a gap to fill. If you see here, a gap from about 950, 962 up. We could actually see a lot more volume come back if, say, this was approved this week, if utilities started coming in buying. But I don't think right now, I think utilities are probably looking towards long-term contracts, which is really the most important thing. You know, uranium, the whole thing with uranium, with me investing in it, was this Eastern play on uranium. It's getting the long-term price up that it needs to be just to get these mines up and going and uranium producers to even break even. So the spot volume, the spot market is great in the short term, but as of right now, it's still a lot weaker because of volume. We need more volume. Now there are people buying, there are people still buying, saying that they're looking to, you know, take advantage of this, but I honestly think that we could see a little bit of gap fill here, and with less volume coming in, who knows, are people going to be shorting it? Let me know below. Do you think that uranium right now, are there people just selling into SPUT, you know, the shares there? Are they selling into that to try to push it down, to push the, you know, push the overall market down so people can buy into these uranium stocks? If you guys like this video, please hit the like and subscribe button below. Let's get 800 likes so I can get this uranium documentary out, the 3rd one this week. And are you guys still bullish on uranium as much as I am? Let me know below.